Okay. Telephone?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Fantastic. New content, that's what I'm looking for.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I assume it means death.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Fabulous.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable,
More games.
delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's
I'd
as
say
if the...
cheap.
Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
The
All
jump
right.
circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh yeah, because you're not able to jump in the original game. And we run out of jumps. Great. Oh. Beautiful.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is
Yes.
new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you for enjoying the
That's
new
it?
content.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
There's actually that
It's my
achievement in
fault,
the list.
Stanley.
That's amazing.
I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
No. Ooh. This is... No. Don't think this layout was ever in the original one.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something!
Oh, that sounds worrying. Why would we climb into a vent? Coffee nut. Beautiful.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Our first kiss, my first car, the release of Stanley Parable in 2013. Oh, that's beautiful. Trip down memory lane, smile because it happened. Go outside, don't play for 5 years. Unachievable. British Academy. In loving memory of little Stanley. Aww, that's so sweet. That's so cute.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
An hour, I think that's overselling it. The original remake. Okay. I want to go in there. Why can't I go in the maintenance room? Person of the year. Red door, blue door.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone.
I feel the
to
narrator's
spend the rest
angry.
of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Guess I can't go back out that way.
These were simpler times, Stanley.
Maintenance.
What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before.
Reviews.
What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Of course they were.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
What's down here?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I?
100%.
You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
Absolutely can.
This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not
Only
if it
just got to
means
the
we
new
can
content
strike
bit,
these
Elo.
negative
Don't worry.
reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the
nothing.
Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything
Going
for
down
the
from
customer,
here.
Stanley.
Oh, no,
Yes,
sorry.
a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the
door's
amount
gone.
of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing?
How
Me
do I get
just
back in?
talking? But it isn't, Stanley.
Ah, there's
It isn't
help.
the same at all. It isn't even... Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year.
Has he given up? Is the narrator dead? No, I haven't.
But they
Just
didn't
gonna leave your
understand
stream
the
open,
game
but
was
not
never
look at it, 'cause
meant
I
to be
don't want
funny. It was meant
spoilers.
to have a point. It was meant to
Mainly
speak
here
to
to
the
call
human
out Eli for
condition. But
clicking
where
on a
are the
ticket at
jokes?
work
Where
and
are the
then
jokes? They
coming
bemoaned.
here
They
to
screamed.
hide.
They gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us. Now he
Aren't you
went,
on a
shut up.
development day
It's the
anyway?
inconsistency. It's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley Parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being.
Avoid work
Have we
and wait
been
for
given
coffee
to
time to come out.
indulging every
I want
fleeting
coffee.
whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living
shut
in
up.
such...
Yeah, but I want someone to make me coffee. Come home and make me coffee. Problem solved.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the
Pseudo
end,
make
is
me
never
coffee.
the end, is never 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 the end.
I think he's broken.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Hello? Is anyone there? Leaky pipes. Look. Oh. I'm guessing there was a leaky pipe. Light that we can't reach. How long does it take for plants to grow? What we have to do is leave the chair, enter the kitchen, boil the kettle, acquire milk and coffee, pour all into a mug and consume, and cannot make a nice latte here in the office. I mean, the key question is it hot water first or milk first? This is how I really judge people. Oh. Darkness. No, it's not how you start fights, it's how you know if people are right or wrong. Freedom! Oh. Hello? Is it because you do it wrong? Is that where we're going with this? Bye, house. I can make him a tea if that helps. I'll tea. I don't think I could trust you to make me a drink, Elo. But also on that note, I'm grabbing a drink. Motherfucker. Hey, Katie. Thanks, Elo, for the raw. Plug your ears, stream. He always leaves his headset on. That would have been a nice warning for everyone else. How are you, Katie?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. New content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
But the co-workers were always gone.
You see, Stanley,
Hey,
I've been
Countess,
reflecting
how are
on the
you?
Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
The end is never the end again.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new
you don't want to
experience
work's
built from the
boring.
ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It
sequel.
could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
When a fan turns up, most of the office stampedes out like bloodthirsty animals.
Calling
As
it
they
the Stanley
should.
Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Candles.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Cool red section of chart. New hotness. My stage name. Paradigm shift, synergy, brick and mortar. Just the color red. That's all we need in life. Red.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Says the
I
man who
figure
likes the color.
that if I can loosely organize a
great.
handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New content bus? Can I sit down and see the new features? No, because that'd be a perfectly good use of chairs.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Reassurance bucket. End is never the end. This t-shirt is the best new feature. 2. No screenshots. I want to see this reassurance bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after
I
much
didn't
consideration,
notice a QR code.
I've engineered a
I'll have a
clever
look at that
solution
after.
to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're
There's no
holding the
bucket.
bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly
Oh, it came from
normal
ceiling.
and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Was it left that long that you needed?
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping
Did you leave it so long that you needed to heat up the cup of tea? Because that'd be a bad cup of tea.
through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive
Downstairs
as a
for a
person.
10-15 minutes.
The benefits of the bucket
Rip.
seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you
Ooh, that's
in
lucky.
the Stanley Parable 2.
Guess I take the book with me. Oh,
Does
the
anyone
big
give out
QR code I
awards for
didn't even
most
recognize.
enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh, it literally takes you to a the Stanley Parable 2 website with a YouTube link. Fabulous. Okay, so reassurance bucket. The infinite hole.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like
There's two
balloons.
fans with the same
but I'm
horns announced
undecided
they're
on
here.
Get
One
Well
that doesn't
Someday
come to our
and
office keeps
Happy
blasting
12th
everyone.
Birthday. Which would you go with?
The coffee van. No, but still the other van. Get well someday. Happy 12th step.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
I clicked the other one.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on. Come now, you've
I
already
made my
your
decision and you
choice.
did it wrong.
It's true that you chose badly,
Why is there one
but
balloon
we
in the
all
way?
have to move on from our mistakes.
I feel like he doesn't care about my opinion. You chose badly. Is that what he's saying?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Swan dive.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Maybe I like it here.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
But what if it's not actually an infinite hole and you lied to me?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean.
You're literally
Why
the only
don't
one
we just
talking.
put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you,
I
then
don't
go
think
ahead
that's
and press
how
the
it works,
teleport button
buddy.
to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Gonna make you wait for all your lies. Fine, I'll
Great.
teleport.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel. Oh,
Whee!
for heaven... You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help
did.
but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow, okay.
That's getting a lot
I'm
shorter.
starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the
Oh, that's broken.
teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
We got rid of him. Success. Now you can spend forever in it. What's that noise? GG? Oh. Goodbye, cruel world. Change perspective. Fuck's sake. There's a lack of beard going on. Change your perception.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now
Puppies!
you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no
Change
longer
yourself.
using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine.
Stanley? Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
Imagine if you fell off your
From the
couch
looks of
because your
things,
sinus
you
is
and I will have many, many years
Oh,
here in this
Charles,
hole.
be
And I'm looking forward
careful.
to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle pip.
Chelsea, I'm stuck in a hole. Save me. I kept getting stuck in the hole. I'm a genius.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Okay, we got bucket. Been to the infinity hole. Oh, so deep. The button that says the name of the player that is playing. Jump circle, mostly infinity hole.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course,
Oh, God, is
the
that
first and
Elo
most
again?
obvious answer is
I
that
have
they
my
want to be individually
caramel
recognized
But
and
I guess I should do some day job. Nah, don't do day job, that's boring. The signs changed since you didn't see that first time. It did say infinity hole the first time, now it's
validated
mostly.
as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button
Name.
which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Okay, I guess we press the button.
Sorry,
I mean,
should
that's
have
pretty
clarified.
close, to be
Right
honest.
now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full
I think that
experience of
person
this
Elo
feature.
should look
Just
after
play
my
along.
imbalanced
I
ass.
promise you'll love it.
He should, he's not doing
Okay,
anything else.
here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine
I will become my
yourself
granddad.
living as Jim. Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim.
I am Jim.
Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as Jim, developing a crippling substance addiction as Jim, rediscovering yourself through fringe religious groups as Jim, and finally dying a slow death at an old age surrounded by members of your cult as Jim. Do you feel it in your soul? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again. Oh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the
I thought
only
Jim
new
was the
feature
only
in the
one
Stanley
who
Parable
tricked
2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Aw. I liked being Jim.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
I don't think it's time to go to the epilogue yet. Jump circle this map, free achievement. Okay, merch setting, world champion, bucket, epilogue, collectibles, infinity hole. Okay. Okay, so free achievement is off the map. Brilliant. I feel cheated. Jump circle, exit. Hole. What's up here? Ooh, shiny.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2,
What's wrong with
you'll
taking
run
off
around
socks?
gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Success! Collect them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Well, if your child is clean, then
Now
she's doing
here's
no
something
harm.
special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers,
The dirty socks
we
from
hear
two
you,
different places.
and I promise it will
Rip.
happen.
Bum, bum.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
The jump circle.
You know
Alright,
what?
jumps already.
Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's
Also,
oh
me and
wait,
Lottie are 3 episodes
you
away
already
from
spent
when
all
we
your
use
jumps
last.
the first time we
Oh,
saw the
nice.
jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Okay. I guess I can go check the epilogue? Been to the hole, been to Collectible Town. Nothing there. Let's go see the epilogue, see what that's like. Seems like the right thing to do. Or the left thing.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
What's wrong with your internet, Chief? What'd you do to it? Did you fuck it? Is that the issue? Free achievement. Wait, there were stairs here? Did I not see these stairs before? Mostly setting world champion, let's do it. Oh, you're taking the piss. That's no fun.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
I guess so. New mug. No screenshots. Okay.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
It's the reassurance
There's definitely
bucket.
a good game in there somewhere. Say,
great
let's do
content.
an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
I think it got worse.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see
I
if
like
can
jokes,
whip
but
something up.
must have narrated that.
All right, perfect.
Just kill the
Go
narrator.
ahead.
Problem solved.
Take a look.